I am Marwan Cameron, and this is The Conduit. All right, y'all, this is the last show of 2021. We got 2 hours until the ball drops and it goes into 2022. I appreciate you all for joining us tonight. As you come in and bring the new year in, Happy New Year to those on the East Coast, as it is already 1 a.m. 10:02, Kitsap County. It is 19 degrees outside. It's cold. That's an understatement. It's frigid. It's freezing. It's below freezing. But 2021 is on its way out. 2022 is coming in. So we're going to talk about 2021. We'll reflect on it. Tell some stories. We'll make some projections for 2022. Hopefully to be filled with optimism. Cautiously optimistic, but we'll see. Now, normally on New Year's Eve, I would not be wearing a suit jacket. I would be wearing knee pads because I would be at G2 right about now. Actually, I probably would have been in there about 30 minutes ago. The way I normally bring in the new year is, oh, that is my brother. Shout out to my brother, Jared and Cameron. Jared is the same age as I am. Quite the chef out there in the DC area. Happy New Year to you and your family. Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm at home, so I don't have the shoes on. But yes, do understand, I do have the shoes to go with the coat. So, you know, it is what it is. You probably will see the suit in 2022 because, I mean, it's all purple all the time. I was telling Rob, he was like, he had made a comment about my hair in the 70s. And I was like, oh, wait till you see the jacket. But it's all purple, you know. Prince is no longer with us. Someone's got to keep the mantle going. So why not me? Yeah, there you go. So, no, it's not quite a 70s afro, but, you know, usually I am bald. So considering that I've got probably more hair than you've seen me with, and you know what, maybe since the start of G2, if you look at our very first pictures, when we were at what was the church on the other side of Manette? I think Manette Baptist Church. Shout out to them. When we were cooking meals in our very start, my hair was about this length. So I have my midlife crisis like once or twice a year where I don't cut my hair and I let it grow out. And I have no balding. And I have very few gray hairs, if any. I just like my hair bald. So I can grow it. I just don't like to grow it. And I hate going to the barber because I don't have 2 or 3 hours to go to the barber. I got 20 minutes in the bathroom. I can take the clippers to it. Boom, it's done. I do it every, 6 or 7 days, and it's good. No muss, no fuss, and there you go. Boom goes the dynamite. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a really good mood this evening. Made it through another year. It is not going out easy. I'm not going to lie about that. The end of this year has been kind of rough for me personally, but it's been great for me in regards to G2 and the conduit and relationships that have been created or cultivated. So in that regard, it has been a great year in the midst of all this tragedy that we've gone through during this year. And so we still must persist. We must be resilient, not be in survival mode. If you heard me talk about that before, I do not like mischaracterizing what resilience is. And I think that many folks have mischaracterized resilience with just mere survival, right? Hanging on. And there's something to be said for survival and hanging on, because sometimes that's the best that you can do, right? You got to get to uh, you know, a secure foothold so that you can start to become resilient. And we have things that happen in our lives that will make it to where we're in survival mode and we can't focus on resiliency. We just have to focus on just kind of sustaining where we're at and then trying to go from there, right? But I want folks to be a little bit more uh, accurate in their their verbiage of resiliency, you know. So I think that's a whole nother thing that you're starting to achieve. Resiliency, uh, interdependence, not independence. I think you're going the wrong way if that's what you're looking to achieve is independence. You're looking for interdependence. We don't do it alone. We do it with a team, whether it's your birth family, your adopted family, the family that you have created through friendships and other relationships. That's the resiliency that you're looking to create. And what's interesting, thinking tonight is, I got invited to a Kwanzaa celebration, and so I didn't attend tonight. I wanted to, but I needed to prepare for this, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's the end of the year, so we've got grant reports that are due, so I couldn't join and tonight, but I joined yesterday, and it was interesting that the MC of the event was my foster uncle, and his family was hosting this big event with a bunch of prominent African American organizations in Seattle. So shout out to them. It's a small world. I haven't spoke with them. Oh man, I can't tell you when, uh, but I saw them on the screen, and in Kwanzaa, you have to. It's very similar to some of indigenous cultures, right? You ask the elders to speak. There's a celebration going on, and there's tradition, and so you can't just break out and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" Do you see me over here? And so I looked down on my phone, and they had my phone number. So they were like, "Hey, how you doing? It's really good to see you." And this and that. Like I didn't even know they had my phone number. It's like again, you haven't talked to these folks in a while, but I was in that foster family back when I was, I think, 16 years old, 16, and then 17, and then I think that was the last foster home that I was in, and then I went and I was living in the YMCA in Seattle down on Fourth Avenue. Uh, and then after that, it was like, I'm good. I'm 17. I don't need to be a ward of the state. I'm just gonna go and do it on my own, and I was done. So, but that was my last foster family. So shout out to them. They're doing good work in their community in Seattle, and bringing larger organizations together in the celebration and acknowledgement of Kwanzaa, and it had to do with math yesterday, which was I just loved it. And the only thing that was disappointing was Layla couldn't be there, but she was packing to get on a plane, so she safely got on a plane today, and she's bringing in the New Year's in California with her mama. So shout out to Layla. She is a jet setter, you know. She does not let any moss grow under her feet at all. So her and mama are in a warmer weather, enjoying the pool. And you know how your kid is your kid because they have some of the things, some of those kind of quirky mannerisms, or they like something that's kind of strange or weird, you know. Well, Layla loves hotels. She just loves hotels. Well, dad loves hotels. Layla's never been camping and she doesn't want to go camping. Dad don't really like camping, you know. He doesn't like bugs, he doesn't like spiders. He doesn't like being on the floor. He likes hot water, you know. So, I like glamping. Have I been camping? Oh yeah, but I was probably a little bit older than she was, and even then, it was in a kind of a cabin, right? I mean, there was no sleeping outside. So that is definitely daddy's little girl for sure. So we were talking the other day, and she's just so excited. to go stay in the hotel. And it's like, you're so funny, girl. She just makes me smile. I can tell you, no matter what I have going on or how bad I feel, she can put a smile on my face and just make me feel good. So, you know, definitely appreciate her for that and the spirit of her childlike innocence, especially in a world that is as hard as it is. It's tried to shield her from the harshities, is that even a word? Harshness of the world. When you speak a lot, you kind of create your own dictionary. You're gonna make up some words, right? You're gonna mix words together. I apologize because these lips are quite dry. And I've been talking a lot. Mm, I got the that ain't looking good. Mm, all right. I gotta light some candles too. I gotta bring in the New Year's with the candles. So I'm really disappointed I can't bring the New Year's in at G2. The problem is there's snow. And so, if you didn't know, I don't drive in the snow. And the joke is, well, I have a transportation company and I don't drive. I very rarely drive, even if there's not snow on the ground. But yeah, I know my limitations. I'm not a good driver. I'm not even a good passenger. Uh, and that's usually whether if it's snowing or not. I'm not. That sound you hear is folks going into G2. And so we are the work never stops. Shout out to Miss Garrido, uh, one of the commissioners, and a really big shout out to Don Michelle. What's happening right now is we received a phone call to help out over at Retzel. There is a homeless encampment out there, and we're going to go and start serving them tomorrow. And so that request came in maybe about an hour ago or less. And so we are going to it's requiring our cook and the rest of our staff to whip up some hearty chili for tomorrow to provide food to that encampment. And as you know, should make this known again. It's my device that I cannot name, otherwise it'll start talking, says that it is 18 degrees now. It is tremendously cold. So again, G2, with the partnership with the county, is providing free rides to the severe weather shelter. You just need to give us a call, 360-373-3000 before 7 p.m. on activation day. Clearly, this is an activation day to arrange for a ride to the nearest severe weather shelter. Please get that information out to folks. There is no reason for any of our citizens to be outside unless they absolutely want to be outside. Okay, please give us a call, 360-373-3000. Once the the severe weather shelter uh, closes in the morning, we transport folks to the pavilion or back down to Salvation Army or to other locations where they want to go. So the pavilion has a day center right now, so that folks can have a place to be during the day where they're not wandering around in 30 degree temperature. uh it's inhumane. And shout out to the churches and all the severe weather shelters. Shout out to the staff as they are working on a volunteer basis to open up their buildings to provide this shelter for folks. So uh, it really takes a community coming together, and so just really appreciative to that. Shout out to Doug Washburn. I'll give him a shout out. Rob tells me that he sees him at the severe weather shelter, handing out coffees and things like that. So it's always good to see our government employees that are, invested in the community and out there doing the work out beyond just the holding that office, right? The job title and doing the job description. So shout out to him for that, and just everyone who is providing space for these folks to be during this time. So please get that information out. They can subscribe to the shelter activation to get notifications. Just text Kitsap SWS to 898 211. Standard message and data rates do apply. Text stop to opt out, and or help for help. And for end user privacy terms and conditions of texting with 898 211, you can go to the www.prevention uh, pays text.com/policies. Okay, so again, that's www.preventionpaystext.com/policies. Okay, so please get that information out. That there's no charge for those folks, so that transportation is free. There is coffee and snacks at the severe weather shelter, and I believe that is the same in the day centers also. So please get that word out. Uh, we don't want to see folks out there. If you see people during the day in your travels, you may just let them know. Again, the phone number is real easy, 360-373-3000. That is our direct line, and we will get a driver out there and take care of those folks. So definitely appreciate you for your support in that. And then, of course, if you need transportation, you can go ahead and give us a call. We do need more drivers. We have been blowing up in a good way. I wish I had a blow up sound. I don't, but we need more drivers. Right now, the demand is quite high, especially if you are a skilled driver in these conditions. But we have been steadily increasing our business here, so this is fantastic. So much so, even during this time, there are a lot of people that are like me that either are too afraid to drive in these weather conditions, shouldn't be driving in these weather conditions, or can't because of where they're located. So we've actually been transporting employees from Kitsap Mental Health to get to work to take care of the clients there. So, big up to them. We know during this time, a lot of help is needed, and so they have to be at work, right? They really do need to be there. So if you want to help us, you can drive for as little as 4 hours a week. Come on down, give us a call. Our insurance extends to you if you even feel comfortable with driving your own vehicle. So, some of our drivers are like, yeah, I like my car for whatever reason, or maybe they live in a certain area, and so they'll provide the transportation kind of in their area. So, yeah, we can do all kinds of things. But give us a call because we definitely could use more help driving and getting people where they need to go and keeping people safe. Uh, I know, I think I was speaking with uh, one of our drivers the other day, and I think they had said they had transported 40 or 50 employees back and forth to work, and this was a Wednesday, right? And the snow started on Sunday. Um, and then with all the transportation that we're doing for regular folks just calling in and wanting to go to the store or doctor's appointments or just whatever, on top of the severe weather shelter transportation, we are tremendously busy. So again, we could use your help. Go ahead and give us a call. All right. So, how was your 2021? As I tell you all the time, I do not lose. I either win or I learn. So, what did you learn? What did you learn? What were your takeaways from this year? What were your takeaways from this year? Over the course of the next hour and a half, I'm going to discuss my thoughts. I usually will do an end of the year kind of synopsis, from the executive director's seat and reflect on, gather together, grow together, and what we've done, what we've accomplished over the year, you know, areas in where we fell short, we wanted to do better for the next year. We talk about our goals, or I talk about our goals and what we hope to achieve next year. And I actually should take the word hope out because I don't hope. I plan, I strategize, I set goals, but I'm not hopeful. I don't wish. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't wish. I'm not hopeful. Man, I hope hope doesn't feel powerful. Hope feels powerless. Like your locus of control is small or non-existent. So I don't hope. I plan, I goal set that gives me the power, right? That's a mindset thing that I believe a lot of people would benefit from if they shift their thinking to a mindset of taking over that locus of control, right? I say it all the time, right? Power is taken, is not given. And I know it sounds aggressive and combative, but that may be taking power over your own life, taking power over your own thinking. It's the reason why I don't lose. It's the reason why I learn versus losing because I'm going to attempt based on planning, based on goal setting. And if I fall short, then I'm going to learn from it. In the morning and in the evening, get all nasally, really hard. I get stuffy. So I'm constantly pumping the Flonase and the Zyrtec and all kinds of other stuff. The one thing about being in the Pacific Northwest, you got allergies, boy, they kick your butt. Mm. So yeah, I learned. I learned. And one of the big things that I learned this year at the end was I don't know anything about my health. Not really. I thought I did. I had some uh wishful, hopeful, prayerful thoughts when it came to my health, but I wasn't the captain of my own health. And so it was quite alarming when I ended up in the ER right after was that after Thanksgiving with some well, I mean, you go to ER, it's not good, you know. Uh, and you know, if you go to the doctor and you know the your doctor's clinics, if they're using my chart or some other online kind of storehouse for you to log in and see your medical records, I never log in and look at it. I don't look at the results of any testing. If the doctor says, "Oh, you know, everything's within normal numbers," I don't pay it any other mind. You know, I'm too busy. You know, if there's nothing that's just glaring, like, "Oh man, you got to do this right now. This is what has to happen." Oh, all right, cool. And even then, you know, it just depends on to the degree, right? Okay, doc, you know, I would love to do this, that, and the other, but I'm just too busy for that. And that's a lie. You know, it's just I'm not willing to make that a priority. I'm not prioritizing my health enough, right? And so looking through my chart the last few days has been illuminating to say uh the least. I mean, man. And I went to the ER. All that stuff goes into your my chart. So my EKG and some other stuff, I was having some chest issues and blood pressure issues. And I still wouldn't look into my chart, right? And it wasn't until I had a follow-up doctor's appointment last week, uh, during Deborah Jackson Surviving Changes, shout out to them, 14th annual Christmas giveaway, that, my doc, I started asking some hard questions, and that was based on some folks that were pushing me to tell me, you need to take this serious. And they tell me all the time, it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And so I said, hey doc, honestly, part of the reason why I'm here is my office actually made the appointment for me. And he was like, go and get the cane. Uh, you're tripping. You need to take command of your own health. Your office staff should not have to make an appointment for you to go to the doctor. And so I'm like, all right, doc, I am here. And, based on the fact that, this is how I'm feeling and this is what's going on, how serious is this? And he's like, I don't think you're gonna die tonight. I mean, these are his words, right? I don't think you're going to die tonight. So I wouldn't worry like that. However, okay, well, damn. you know, uh, what? Well, damn. Okay. I guess I need to read and figure out what this stuff is and actually take this seriously. So I log in. So I go back and I run the podcast for the Xmas, the Christmas giveaway. And then over the course of, the last week, I'm actually in there reading the EKG and my blood work and this, that, and the other. And it's like, damn, damn, damn. Shit. Like, okay, okay, okay. All right. I'm awake now. I'm woke. Mm. I gotta I gotta get serious and take care of this thing. So that's a big one that I am in the midst of learning at the end of 2021 as I go into 2022, right? And so I've been, saying, this whole time, we had Dr. Yah on, talking about prostate cancer. Shout out to him, University of Washington. And even then, right, I was mixing up prostate and colon cancer checking. Here I am, close to 50. I don't know. I didn't know what my numbers were. And the irony was, uh, my doctor had ordered blood work. And I'm like, well, I don't even think my doctor, ordered a blood panel and to look at that, based on age, it's supposed to trigger you getting certain things done. I go to my doctor and I'm like, hey doc, can you get me in to do this blood work for my PSA? And he was like, I gave you that referral 6 months ago. Like, oh, for real? For real? Yeah. 6 months ago, I gave that to you. You just don't go and get your blood drawn. Okay, doc, I'm going today. So I went, and then, luckily it was 1.56. So I was within those numbers for my prostate, which is great. And so I was so proud to tell Dr. Y'all, I was like, doc, my numbers are good. I actually went, got my blood work done. And so this end of the year has definitely been, a wake up. And then of course, COVID, and there's just so much of the unknown there, right? The story. I was so much against the vaccine in the very beginning. Uh, it took a very long time for me to come around on that, and working with my doctor, who has been my doctor for about 15 years. And he's not only my primary, but he's also my a specialist, right? And then, people that I trust doing the research that I do, cutting through the noise. And when I say cutting through the noise, I mean not getting caught in an echo chamber, right? Sometimes we can have a lot of confirmation bias in how we process information, how we go and seek information. And so I want to hear what both sides are saying, but I want both sides to be uh, reputable, right? And make sound arguments, not arguments that make me feel good, you know, things that are rational and factual. And, over time, I made the decision. I was like, yeah, okay, getting the vaccine is the best thing for me and my family. And so I got vaccinated, right? And understanding with all things, there's risk, right? We take medicines all the time. And that joke is, hey, this medicine will clear up that acne, but it may cause diarrhea, panic attacks, uh, heart attack, stroke, incontinence, bleeding, and it's like, I'll just keep the acne. I don't want that, it's all good. But that can happen, right? Medicines can make your situation worse or, give you new things. And so you've got to weigh that uh and just say, okay, all right, out of I'm picking either the lesser of two evils or, you know, the pathway that I think is going to do the greatest good for me. And, lo and behold, I get vaccinated, uh, and then I get a breakthrough COVID in September, which, for those of you that were watching back then or and seen those shows, uh, I'm sweating. I'm like at 102, 103 degrees. And I thought I was, that first week, I thought I was checking up out of here, right? I got all these health issues. And not only that, but I got all these health issues that are probably progressively getting worse that I'm not paying any attention to. I'm ignoring it. And so when you get it, well, your body's fighting everything. Kind of hard to do, right? Which is why they say people that have, autoimmune diseases or comorbidities or obesity, right? All of those things make that situation worse. It's like check, check, check. Okay. So that was the best thing for me to do. And I still got COVID, you know, but I believe that kept me alive. So, I got the booster. Uh, and, now we're here. We'll see what happens. Now we got this new variant. Things are going crazy. Hopefully, this thing doesn't mutate again. That's been my fear, right? From all the research that they have, they say, look, this thing can mutate and it can either become kind of like Omicron seems to be looking, right? Like more like a common cold, becoming more endemic. Or, it could get worse. It'd be like the flu in 1919 and wipe out 30% of the population. But, viruses want to live. So if they kill all of their host, you know, it will kill, it'll kill itself out. So, hopefully, Omicron is the last wave. And if there's another one, it'll become even less of a problem. That's the hope, right? But you hear what I was saying about hope. I hate hope in some respects, right? I don't want to be hopeful. I want to be realistic. I want to plan. I want to goal set. I want to do things that are going to give me the best probability, not possibility, of being safe, right? Huge difference. A lot of us are living our lives with the gambler's mentality. I might hit double six. I might hit snake eyes. I might have 15. The dealer has a 10 and I can hit a six, whatever gambling analogy you want to make. possibility versus probability. I want to deal with probability. It's possible that someone who has a 10% chance to live will survive. But if it's probable and it's only 10%, I don't feel good about that. It's possible you might be one of those 10%, but those aren't odds that I want to play with. So if I could put a number on it and say, hey, you know what? There's an 80% probability that the outcome is going to be good, then that is how I want to govern my decisions. Not on the possibility that I'm going to be that 20%. And I think we do that a lot in life, in a lot of things that we do, right? Well, this one did it, right? Oftentimes that's the exception. That's not the rule. Everyone's not going to be LeBron. Everyone's not going to be Jay-Z. It's possible to be them, to achieve what they've achieved, but it's not probable. And I'm not saying that you don't dream and you're not hopeful, but I think that many of us, are living our lives in a possibility realm that is filled full of wishing and hoping and praying. And they don't typically acknowledge the fact that, you know, prayer without action or faith without action is dead, right? And just say, hey, Jesus, take the wheel. And you do nothing. You have to take control over your life. You have to be realistic. You have to plan. You have to goal set. Now, you can be hopeful that your plans work. You can have faith that the goals that you set will come to fruition. You can pray that the learning that you plan to apply is going to garner the outcome that you're looking to get. But the mindset of long shots, open a prayer, Hail Mary, too many of us are living that way. It'll work out somehow. It always does. And it always does until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, the consequences are dire. And oftentimes, they're not just dire for you, because there's typically other people that depend on you. And that's usually your children, or maybe your spouse, or a sick parent, or a sibling, or a good friend. So, probability. We're looking for themes for 2022. What's the theme for 2022? Probability. Type that quick, so I may have misspelled that. Probability, not possibility. Are you planning? Or are you just kind of YOLO, popping off fireworks, shooting your guns, getting your sip on, getting your smoke on, if that's what you do, and just saying, hey, it is what it is? That's a choice. But like I said, power is taken, it's not given. So take power over your life for 22. I when I started this podcast, and started talking with folks back during Black History Month. One of the things I was saying was is I wanted to meet 5 new people every month. And I started to kind of create a list. If I can grab my computer over here, switch this one out. And so in 10 months, I should have met 50 people. And so, like I said, I ran out of time. And so I got about, through half of the year, but I was already at 33 names. So I definitely achieved my goal. So, shout out to Reverend Laverne Hall, one of my very first interviews of the year, Commissioner Gelder, Pastor Coleman, Alejandra, and Brenda and Deanna from CARE, Tracy Flood, of course. I knew of her, but really didn't know her. Holly Ballstad from Kids at Public Health, Mark Boatwright Frost, and Terry Banjo and Camo from Resilient Ecosystems, JD Sweet, Deborah Jackson, of course, and Akuye Karen Vargas, her husband Tomaji Vargas, and Christina Rourke, who I knew, but we didn't work as closely as we have in the past. Martitha May, Allison Rotter, and Matt Garrett from KCR, and Jill Stanton from BHA, uh, Bria from the Kitsap Regional Library, Doc Loves the Kids, Roosevelt Smith. Definitely want to check out the Africana exhibit at the museum. Dr. Gib Morrow, Lindsay Camarena, RN from Kitsap Public Health, Sal, Wake Up Bainbridge, Jenny Sapaka, and Martitha Little, or Martha Little, uh, Hillary from Hops and Drops. As you know, we did the uh, Toys for Tykes. Joe Barton, who ran against the mayor, who came onto the show. And like I said, I didn't even finish my list. That's like half of the year of relationships that I've created over the course of this year. And so um, that was the challenge, was to create and cultivate meaningful relationships with folks. Chief of police, the navigator. I can't even recall the names right now. So many people this year. And from that, uh, DCYF, like I said, it's so hard there's so many names. And so uh, I should always apologize, as we all do, when we don't call out every name, because we undoubtedly are going to forget several, right? And sometimes people are like, you know, go and get the cane. Forgot my name. You didn't say my name. That's a problem. So it is just an accident. It's an oversight. It is not on purpose at all. So please don't take it as that. I hope that you would not. Definitely want to shout out our volunteers this year. We had some, really powerful folks come in and make some significant contributions uh, to Gather Together, Grow Together this year. So I want to acknowledge a few of those. Of course, Don Michelle, who has always been one of our biggest supporters, uh, who actually started driving for us. Don Michelle has a key to G2, so shout out to her. She's always been a big fan of ours, and we're a big fan of hers. And she always thinks about us, and so we're very, very happy about that. Uh, Anthony Wallace, uh, super huge addition to G2. Has a uh, just a great demeanor and spirit. Has a heart for service work. Is very giving and thoughtful, and so we appreciate him and all the work that he does, and uh, what he brings as an individual. You know, it shout out to Mark from Roseco, but he talks about puzzle pieces and people bringing their piece to the puzzle, right, to the table, and that is definitely what Tony uh, has done. He has brought his piece and is definitely a fixture at G2. So, uh, and while I'm not in the office often, you know, it is clear and obvious that he is G2 for sure. And then shout out to Sabrina, as you have seen her helping us with the podcast. She has done concessions with us, helped us to prepare meals uh, during our food program, where we were providing lunches through the school district and ensuring that kids had food. Very impactful in doing that with all the things that Stephanie says, I love me some Tony. uh, and all the challenges that she has going on, and still finding time to do that. Shout out to Kendra and Diana, and their help with the food program during the summer. Uh, Shout out to Terry, our newest driver, who drives for us. Again, great demeanor, great fit. It just kind of comes in, and folks bring their puzzle piece in, and it's awesome. Who else? Oh, shout out to Kelly White. If I'm forgetting anyone, uh, let me know in the chat. For those of you that are in the office and maybe listening there, uh, like I said, so many people help us to make this thing go. Of course, I want to thank my board and all of their efforts. They are the lifeblood of the organization, uh, making sure that we get things done, which is awesome. We got about an hour and 10 minutes before we bring the new year in. And let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting. I'm gonna forget probably a good half dozen folks that have come and done significant work with us at G2. All of our volunteers for our concessions. That is not an easy job uh, to do, but it is the work that allows us to continue to serve the community that we serve and do the things that we do. And so, definitely a special thank you to them and everyone who has prepared meals for us, because that was a big deal. We were doing 1,000 meals per week during the summer, and these are cooked meals, right? This isn't bought food. This is 1,000 meals prepared. Ah, yes, Erica. Shout out to Erica. And who's my stylish gentleman who I can't recall his name right now. You know who I'm talking about? Has the cool glasses. Sure, you guys will put that in the chat for me. Like I said, I'm bad with names too, and there's so many folks. A year is a really long time, and this year went fast. But in the same respects, uh, there's so much that happens in 365 days. It's like, whew, wow, it really is. It really is. So, definitely. Daniel. Yes, Daniel and his family. Thank you for that. That's a big one. Shout out to Daniel and his family. I love when, parents, bring their kids in and have them also volunteer and, teach them, uh, that responsibility and, how that is important. So yeah, shout out to Daniel. Yeah, there have been so many people that have come in this year and have made an impact with us at G2. So we definitely want to acknowledge all of them. What I will do from time to time is let's see if I can do this in a way that doesn't look so crazy. Maybe I can't. So one of the things that we like to do is when we have our time, we like to go to the movies. So this was our last movie of the year. This was SpiderMan, which was a huge, huge movie. Great. You see Marlon there in the background, peeking his head over there. It's one of our board members, and Tony and Ernest and Stephanie and Rob, and of course me and Princess Layla. So we love going to the movies. Uh, there was actually a lot more people there, but either you can't get them to take pictures, or sometimes folks don't like to stay for the end credits. Like it's Marvel, there's going to be an end credit scene. You got to stay for the end credit scene, you know. And then Pastor Ellington and his family came. They were super late and ended up having to go to a different show. So, uh definitely go and get the cane. Pastor Ellington, but they were able to come and check out Spider-Man also. Let's see, pull up another picture there. This is our our drivers, Terry and Tony. And this is at the end of one of the Roseco workshops, which is awesome. So, like I said, love the spirit uh, and the effort. This is what date was this? Oh, this was December 15th. So this was very recent. This is me with the uh, chief of police there and the navigator. And so we are looking to do some work here in the new year, uh, you know, based on providing information and transparency and building relationships. So stay tuned for that. So that was a good meeting and a good conversation. And so one of the things that, if I think about 22 next year, what's going to happen next year? What am I going to do next year? What is G2 going to do next year? What is the Conduit going to do next year? Again, I don't hope, I plan, right? And we ask questions as educators and in different arenas. Are you, what did you learn? Do you have a spirit of lifelong learning? And I want to continue to have a spirit of lifelong learning, right? And I want to make sure that I'm setting goals, for myself or for my career, or, personal development, professional development, running organizations, you know, goal setting for the organizations. And community. That's another one, right? What is my role in the community, either as an individual or as part of an organization. And one of those is, I haven't really been much of a, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more of a keep your head down and focus on the work. You're in the trenches. So when I was teaching at the college, my focus was on the students, right, and creating programs there. When I started G2, that the concentration is on the clients and the volunteers that make it go. So I haven't really been, you know, hey, the other stuff that's going on there, politics, things of that nature, not concerned with it. I mean, I'm concerned with it, but you know, I'm busy doing what I'm doing. And while it's important to focus on what you're working on, and I tell folks, your gaze has to have three levels to it, right? You need to be focused on what's in front of you, but you also have to look at what's in front of you in the short term, a week out, a month out, 6 months, a year. You need to be cognizant of that too. You can't have your head so down focused on what you're doing that you're not watching where you're going. Because oftentimes when you look up or you bump into something, you're like, how the hell did I get here? And damn, I've been going down this road for a long time and this was the wrong road. So you have to look up from time to time, whether you're working on personal or professional endeavors. But then you also have to look out even further than that. So you have to extend that gaze to the so where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's 1 hour and 1 minute to 2022. Where do you see yourself 22, 23, 24, 25, 26? Where do you see yourself at the end of 2026? Do you have any kind of plan? I don't know. I can't think that far. I'll deal with it when I get there. I got too much going on to be thinking about what's going on in 26. I'm not saying that you have to have it charted out in such detail. That's like I'm doing this and then I'm doing that. I'll be here, but have a general idea. And then as you pull back from the macro, from the 30,000-foot level, your midterm goals and your really short-term goals all should be working into the direction of your long-term goals. Is it home ownership? Is it health? Is it losing weight? Getting your blood pressure under control? Building muscle? Learning a skill? Learning a language? Training for a new position? Starting a business? What are those things in 5 years? And what are you doing now to work toward that? And some of those things may be directly impacting that. Whatever my plans for G2 in 5 years, for the Conduit in 5 years, are predicated on me being around in 5 years. And although I can't guarantee that that's going to be the case, then I got to make sure that I have people and resources in place that it can carry on if I'm not here. And then look at those things and just check in from time to time. Because again, probability versus possibility. G2 could be around in 5 years. It's possible, but I deal in probable. How probable is it that G2 is here in 5 years? Well, if we continue to serve the community, look for other channels of revenue, If we conduct a SWOT analysis, if you watched a few Wednesdays ago, talked about what SWOT analysis is and a business tool to look at your internal strengths and weaknesses and the external opportunities and threats that G2 faces. So, where is G2 weak? Where does G2 need to get better? Where's G2 strong? What do we do well? We have awesome personnel that are dedicated, loyal, fierce, tireless, even though they're tired. So, how can we use that to minimize our own weaknesses? That's an analysis that has to take place. And so, if there's training that needs to be had, then when are we going to get that training? Who's going to take it? How are we going to pay for it? What will that training do for us? What will it do for our clients? And then I have to look at the opportunities and threats that exist from the outside. Pandemic. We almost closed, just like many of other businesses. But we had to reinvent ourselves, right? You don't plan for a pandemic. And now we've been through one. So we better plan for the next one. We better plan for the uncertainty of, well, alpha turns into this, turns into the delta, turns into the delta plus, turns into the Omicron, turns into the first wave and the second wave and the third wave and the fourth wave. But we don't know what's next in regards to COVID-19. Herd immunity, I guess that's out the window, right? What's the next pandemic? This isn't going to be the last one. And what is G2 going to do to inoculate itself from the next pandemic? Can we? And again, probability versus possibility. It's possible we make it through the next one, but is it probable? And what are we doing in regards to planning, goal setting, increasing knowledge, skills, and abilities, cultivating more personnel, finding other revenue sources, creating more partnerships? See, that's where the list of, hey, meet 5 new people every month really comes in handy. Let me put Joy on my list from DCYF, Janelle McPhee from the Welcome Home Project. See, these are all new people that I've met, or maybe I knew them or knew of them, but I've never worked with them. G2 has never worked with them. And now we're finding ways to collaborate and work together. So the threat is COVID, another pandemic, the economy, personnel, volunteers, expenses. The opportunity is cultivating relationships, seeking grants, donations, finding other gaps in service, providing a need, filling a void, right? Being first responders is important. No, we're not firefighters, we're not police officers. But we never closed during the pandemic. And we transported folks during the pandemic. We're transporting people now in a pandemic, in a snowstorm. You know, I mean, got to keep it going. Still feeding folks every Thursday. And if you know of a family or individuals who are in need of a meal, a prepared meal, give us a call by Tuesday and we will put them on our list for that Thursday delivery. So those are the things that I have to do as the leader of an organization to ensure the health, to increase the probability of resiliency, growth of the organization. And heavy is the head that wears the crown because you're not just worried about you, you have to be worried about all of your staff. How are you going to grow? How are you going to give them what they need? And everything that they need isn't necessarily tangible. See, one of the huge reasons, huge, bigly, reasons for the podcast was the pandemic is very isolating through social distancing. Mental health is definitely affected during this pandemic. The folks need a way to connect, stay connected, get information, see a familiar face, learn things. That's important. And it's not, oh, let me take this picture off. It's not easy for us to make friends all the time, you know, especially if we've been burned in the past. It didn't work out. Look, I tried to reach out. I, you know, went and tried to join this organization or, you know, went to this church or went here, went there. Didn't really do anything for me, unfortunately. It didn't work out the way I hoped it would. No, that happens, right? That happens. Shout out to Doc Loves the Kids. Look forward to working with him in 2022. You know what's so interesting about Doc is he does a lot of work here in the community, and he and I had never met in the community this small. You're like, how have we not met? How have we not already collaborated? Now, watch out. Well, y'all know the good pastor Ellington, who has been installed as the pastor of New Horizon Missionary Baptist Church. Of course, their service now is on Saturdays, so they will be having church tomorrow, right? Which is awesome. They're at 4400 Wheaton Way. Just turn right or left at the KFC on Wheaton Way and drive to the back. They're on the second floor. That's definitely a good brother. Like to tease him about his Stetson. Wow, wow, West. I like to go downtown on 29th Street Convent. Everything was upbeat parties. Got his Kumo D going on. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's another picture here from SpiderMan. One thing I can say about the team, they don't take the greatest pictures. It's like I don't even know what Tony's looking at. You know, it just cracks me up. Yeah, yeah. Pastor does love his Stetson. That's facts. Another thing we love to do is bowling, and hope to as things when they open up, get into that. So that was one of my favorite things to do growing up. So that would be a good one to keep going. Let's see. Shout out to Martitha. And I got to show this one because, Martitha got the purple boots. Okay. The purple boots. So, yeah, I got the purple shoes. She got the purple boots. It was like, that's fire right there. Shout out to her. One of the hardest working people in Kitsap County. Huge heart. Let's see. Where's Miss Sabrina, as Layla calls her, as she calls every adult. Oh, here's a good one. Learning how to run the podcast. This is at the workshop at the Black Ring Spirits. Shout out to them for hosting the workshops. They're out in Port Orchard. If you are into spirits, uh, the Black Ring Distillery is fantastic. Uh, they have some really, he makes some really good alcohol. It's very delicious. There's a coffee whiskey that I purchased there that is awesome. But yeah, Sabrina learned a lot in regards to being able to run uh, all this podcasting equipment, uh, and it's a lot. Let me tell you. Shout out to her. I'm just kind of going through the pictures in my camera roll here. This is Layla's birthday, so she always gets a bouquet of roses on her birthday from dad. So that's important for me. And she loves her flowers, as you can see. She is such a ham. Shout out to the whiskey and bourbon. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll have some tonight. You know, I just being so bougie. I think I want to wait on the cue ball ice cubes before I have some. That's kind of ridiculous. I shouldn't be thinking like that, right? I shouldn't be thinking like that. I should just have some if I want some. And I think someone was saying that it's good in coffee, so maybe I'll even try it in my coffee. That might be pretty good. So yeah, probability versus possibility. Thinking about 22, what do I want to do? What do I want to learn? Well, I want to do better in regards to producing and editing podcasts. I've gone to a live format because it's a lot easier than I say it's a little less time consuming than doing a pre-recorded show and editing and doing the cards and creating thumbnails and doing all that stuff. You're trying to run an organization and uh, there's so many things, right? There's only so many hours in a day, uh, and so as important as everything is, you can only get so much done. But you do want to get the information out. That's kind of the most important thing, and then refine it. So we will be definitely looking to create a team in 22 as we have been asked to uh, cover a lot of events in 2022. So we will be covering the swearing in ceremony for uh, Judge Tracy Flood, January 7th. So stay tuned for that. You will see actually that show will go up tomorrow, probably. And so you can set a reminder so you don't miss it. We will be on location at the Norm Dix building, capturing that event live. We will be covering the Bainbridge Island Martin Luther King event that Akuye Vargas is putting on. There, there's so much stuff coming up next year. It's crazy, and undoubtedly, there will be events that will be happening, uh, or multiple events happening on the same day. And I can't be in two places at once. So, if you've been watching us closely, you have seen where I needed to actually present to the Welcome Home project. Uh, in regards to G2 and what we do and what we offer. And at the same time, we were supposed to have, uh, oh man, why is his name slipping my mind? From Kids Up Strong, uh, come on at the same time. So, there's, it's like, man, I need either a transporter. No, I need a multiplicator. What is that called? When you can split yourself into multiple people. That's what I need. But it's just too much. But yeah, we need other folks that can help to produce, events, but also to be some of the talent, on some of these events too. Which means, you are a one person show oftentimes, right? So you're running the chat, you're running the camera, you're running the audio, you're dealing with any of the technical issues that happen on the fly, which they happen often. You're working with the issues of or you're working with the people that you're interviewing, right? You're setting up the equipment in that location. Uh, it's a lot, you know. Here is Pastor Ellington being installed as the pastor of New Horizon Missionary Baptist Church, and you really can't see it there, but in the pulpit is Pastor Mac from New Horizon, Pastor Frankie Coleman from Sinclair, and Pastor Richmond from Mount Zion, and then I think some of the ministers from uh, Emmanuel there also. So that was out in Tacoma, and then some of his deacons were being installed. So that was a special moment. I was honored to be invited to that and witness that. And, Pastor has a story behind that too. He almost didn't make it to that event because he had a family emergency and literally made it right at the end to his own installation. So shout out to Pastor for that. Oh, here's a good picture here. This is Pastor Mac here on the left, Pastor Frankie Coleman, and then Pastor Richmond here on the right. So that's an awesome vision there of three community leaders and church leaders in the community, and they all do work in the community. So I'm gonna be pushing on them next year uh, to do some work together. You've seen Pastor Frankie on the Conduit multiple times. He's come on as the, the guest of the hour and has done a one-on-one interview on the Conduit. But he's also been on in support of other events, and so I appreciate his participation in the conduit and the things that we're trying to achieve and do. So I'm really into that. And so, like I said, I'll be pushing on these brothers next year uh, to do some collaborative work. I'm going to challenge them, and I'm really going to focus on men next year. And you hear me say all the time, we've got to do more in the community. We need to uh, stand up and take a leadership role. And while they have been doing that for a while in the church and they've done their community things, I do want to challenge them even more so because we need that. And then have other folks come too, right? Because it can't just be, these three. And then, uh, this picture here, I think on the side, you'll see the ministers from Emmanuel. I don't have that picture with me. But yeah, I'm going to push harder on that, you know, because it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us. This picture here is at Evergreen. So this is the park that Layla and I love. And I think this was like my first time coming out after COVID. And I also had my new camera lens. And I was like, all right, I don't have a fever anymore. You know, I'm going to live. So I said, all right, G2, come down to the park because I'm having lunch here. And, shout out to Christina. She brought me some Susie's Kitchen, you know, and definitely appreciate that. And just to show you there, this was me with COVID. I think I had 105. I think I had a 103-degree temperature. I mean, you can see my eyes are all bloodshot red. Uh, COVID is horrible. Let me tell you, COVID is horrible. It sucks. It sucked. That first week was the worst, and then the second week, I lost my taste and my smell, and that lasted for weeks. That lasted for weeks, and it's so weird. If you've ever lost your smell and your taste, let me tell you it's weird. I can't even describe it. You know, you know what you're eating, you have the texture, but you can't taste it, right? You can't smell anything, and it took probably, I might say more than a month for my smell to come back. You know, now the cool thing is, well, you don't get the bad smells. So, there's times like, sometimes when it was starting to come back, it would be intermittent, right? So one of my things would be is I would spray cologne on, even if I didn't leave the house. And I figured that that might be the first thing that I would smell if my smell came back, it would trigger it because I would smell, you know, the cologne. And so, but when you can't smell, you can push the garbage in even further and further and further and just really pack it until you take it out, right? It's like, man, you can barely take it out. It's going to rip the bag. So when it started coming back, you can smell it. It's like, whoo, boy, oh, yeah, oh, man. All right. So they ask people all the time, like, if you had to lose one of your senses, which one would it be? Yeah, you could take the smell. I'm good. I'm good. Take the smell. But it's weird. It's weird. But man, was I sick. Woo, I was sick, boy. Let's see. Oh, this is me getting ready to have my back surgery done earlier in the year. Got my G2 mask on, of course, doing work. I'm always working, even in the hospital. Right before surgery, to the right over there was my computer. you know, because it is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do. Here, this is a cool picture. This is when Tracy was running and going door to door, and I happened to be at Dawn Michelle's house, so she and I were hanging out, and Tracy Flood comes and she's actually putting signs in people's uh, in their lawn. So that's how this picture happened, right? Just happened to show up while we were outside hanging out at Dawn. So that was pretty awesome. She definitely did a lot of door to door, right? Oh yeah, I gotta show this picture. This is her in G2. I think it was giving her the keys to the building. You see the shield behind us. That's awesome. And then of course, I mean, if you get a chance to hang out, well, you need to go to Susie's Kitchen. You see that food right there? You see that food? Susie's Kitchen. Just hey, first off, and shout out to Sam Morgan. You know, I miss you, man. You do need to come back here. This is one of our spots that we like to eat when he's in town. That's my brother from another mother, for sure. Let's see. Man, I actually do take a lot of pictures. Oh, here's another one. Get a insight of what I see when I'm doing the podcast here. So this is what it looks like when I'm doing a podcast. You can see this is a show here that looks like Deborah Jackson. I don't know who else is in the background there, but this is what the studio looks like. So there's all these monitors, and actually, right now, to the right of where this computer is kind of half open here, there's a stand, and there's actually two laptops on top of each other here. So, the setup here is pretty crazy. But that's what the Conduit studio looks like. And I can't do it at G2, which our location is downtown. Uh because it's an old building. We're right on the street. We're right on the corner of Fifth and Park down there. And at 3 p.m., when the shipyard gets out, it is so loud down there. You wouldn't be able to hear anything uh during the show. So, you know, seeing as it's a pandemic also, it's fine. Funny story, when we started G2 in my house. And so that meant getting rid of the couches and the dining room table, putting in a computer lab, just gutting the living room and the dining room. And we moved into the downtown location after the first year. And it was like, all right, I got my house back. It's gonna turn back into a home. And then all of a sudden it's like, up here comes the podcast. Well, I guess it's going back to G2. So this is G2 Prime. I don't know what is a lot of times they'll call it the Batcave, but it's like G2 Prime. So this is G2 Prime. G2 is downtown, you know, G3 is in Port Orchard, so it is what it is. But the work has to get done. But you gotta have a quiet space to do that. Actually got some soundproofing that's coming from. Put that on order. So you will see probably some purple tiles up here in the future to give us some more soundproofing. That is what it looks like here. Have people ask me, how can you? That's just too many monitors. It's like there's a lot going on. Do you need all that? No, you don't need all of that. But it is helpful to have that. I do a lot of research. This is your Anton Pressinger from Northwest Hospitality. He has a mobile, I wouldn't call it a clothing closet, but shout out to Anton. But what he has is a lot of household goods. So as people move from homelessness into their own house, ooh, you can see how Stephanie feels about taking pictures. Stephanie, I just recognized what was going on in that picture. Uh, and it's a so the iPhone takes short videos. You know, if your pictures are like 2 or 3 seconds long. So when I looked at it, her hand is not up. Uh, but her hand was up on that. So, but yeah, so he's got a mobile closet for people that are moving from homelessness into housing, or people that are in need, who have housing, that need household goods, pots and pans, vacuums, things like that. If you go to Northwest Hospitality, just Google it because I don't have the website in front of me. He itemizes everything on the website, and there's also clothing there too. It is super organized. He has a lot of good things. So if you do need something, or if you know someone who needs something, please check out Anton with Northwest Hospitality. Awesome guy. Uh, Another person who runs his nonprofit out of his home, and does a lot of work in the community. So really awesome there. And of course, in the summertime, I got to shout out my cousin Skylar there. You know, this was her HBCU celebration. She is at Morgan State as a freshman, so she is home from college right now. That is my aunt Colleen Cameron. Shout out to her. So yeah, flew down to Florida in the summertime to go and celebrate with Skylar, and yeah, she is definitely proud of her. You know, I wish my dad had lived to see her go to an HBCU, so vested in education, and that was his Skylar Boo, you know, as he would call her. So, um, yeah, and this is my little brother Dondre here, and his wife, and their little girl, and of course that's Skylar, and that's my aunt, you know, and so we're just having a good time in Virginia. I tell you what, the day we were there, you can see in the background, you can see the water here. It doesn't rain in Washington. It rains in Virginia. What we get isn't what they get. I mean, it's thunder, lightning, and just like God just dumping a huge pail out onto the world. It's crazy down there. And then it's still like 98 degrees. Like, this is miserable. I would not want to live on the East Coast in the South. I'm sorry. It is just too hot. You know, ain't no one got time for that. Ain't no one got time for that. Yeah, it's too hot. And of course, you know, it's a good thing that my aunt did get the tent, which I mean, even if it didn't rain, she'd have to have the tent. It's just too hot to sit out there during the day. It's crazy. But that was a lot of fun. They were having uh balloon fights and doing their thing. You know, she had this decorated in front of the house. So when Skylar got off of work and came home, she got to see this, which was really awesome. And believe it or not, I don't know if that's a thing here, but they do all that for like $100. This whole thing was like $100, 100 or 150. It was really cheap. I'm like, dang, I would figure that would be like 500. And then what they do is you tell them what you want, they create it, they make it, they set it up, you know, and then it's there for, I don't know, like a day or two or whatever. And then they come and they take it down and they take it away. I mean, it's like the coolest thing. I never even heard of that stuff. I didn't know, you know, people did that. But there's all kinds of cool businesses that you can do. So just really, I love to see the innovation of people, ingenuity that folks come up with, which is really cool. Oh, let's see. Can't remember what movie this is, but like I said, you know, G2, we like our movies. So we got a little bit of everyone down here. We got Daniel and his family. There's Sabrina, Rob, Stephanie, Tony. I can't even tell who that is behind Tony. Raymond, Kendra. Can't remember who that is. That's Brandon. Yeah, and again, that's not everybody who we went to the movies with. So, it's just one of the things that we do. Uh, I will tell you that is one of the perks of volunteering uh, with G2, and we will be doing more of this in the. I'll say 22, contingent upon COVID. Contingent upon COVID. So it's just it's a block away. This is actually one of my favorite places to go in the city. And so uh if I need some, this is one of my self-care things that I like to do is go to the movies. And so I like sharing it with other folks. But I'll slip into a movie theater during the day and check out a movie. Sometimes I might fall asleep in there, but it's great. I love movies. I love the movie theater. Layla and I will go and just get popcorn sometimes and take it back and watch. Like right now, we're watching Harry Potter, so we're on Harry Potter 3 right now. And she actually didn't want to go to the movie theater for Harry Potter 3, so we watched Harry Potter 3 on Christmas Eve, and she wanted to make popcorn. So she likes I doctor it up. But this time we got some flavored stuff. You can get like the cheddar or the parmesan or whatever. They'll put it on there. Layla likes putting stuff on her popcorn and in her juice. Like those little Mio, water flavors. She'll mix them all together. It's like, Layla, that's disgusting. But it's kids. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Let's see if I got a good picture here. Oh, let's see. This is a good one. This is July 5. This is us uh, getting the food ready. I said we were doing 1,000 meals per week. Shout out to Diana, Kendra, Stephanie there, Rob. We had drivers. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much that gets done during the year, and it really does take an army of people to get this done. But we need more. We definitely need more folks. Uh, it's so funny because Pastor Ellington and then Akuye was saying this the other day. Many hands make light work. I don't hear that a lot. I think it's a church thing, maybe is where that comes from. Uh, but they both said it the other day, so I was like, okay, pretty funny. Let's see, this one here is me. I tell you what, man, if my dad was still here, he would say, "Uh-huh. All right now, Marwan." So he's picking on me. That's what he'd say. All right, Marwan. He told me at a time when I definitely didn't believe that I could teach or preach. He said, "Well, you might do both," because my dad is Reverend Cameron. And so this is me on the pulpit. Mother of the church. New Horizon Baptist Church. I was just reflecting the other day and telling someone about your church and the fact that you were celebrating 15 years. Yes. 15 years is a long time. Yes. I think we take it for granted sometimes because we're in the minutia of just doing the work. I've been to some of the other churches, the buildings, should I say, that y'all were in, and have watched you grow over the years. Pastor Matt, thank you. How you doing? Brother. How you doing, brother? I'm good. It's good to see you. Anytime. Welcome. If I can, I wanted to read Matthew 25, 35, 40. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. Glory, glory. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. Yes. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you, a stranger, and invite you in, or needed clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, truly, I tell you, whatever you did from one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did from me. One of the things that resonates with me and this church is, to me, this is the embodiment of New Horizon Baptist Church. You feed the hungry. You clothe those that do not have it. You take care of the sick. You have a ministry for the least of us. And so for me and my organization, that resonates with us, because that is our mission too, although we are not a church. And so we keep coming back. And so we want to thank you. We appreciate your service, your faithfulness to God and to his people. Times, as you can tell, are changing pretty quickly. It's what, 110 today? In June, in Kitsap County. Have we seen this before? No. Weather, pandemic, war, civil unrest. Folks are immigrating, they're trying to get here. Things are bad here. Where do we go? There's nowhere for us to go. Well, God. That is the answer, true? Low wages, high rents, unemployment. The bonus is getting ready to end, so folks are going to have to start actually applying for jobs. The moratorium has been extended for another 3 months. All right, so that was me at New Horizon Missionary Baptist Church, coming in, providing information to them. And, you know, like I said, it's really important for me to make sure that people are informed in regards to what is out there for them that can help them. And we don't get that information. And sometimes we hear it, but we don't need it at that time. Sometimes we hear it, we don't think that it applies to us. Sometimes we hear it, we don't think we deserve it. Sometimes we hear it, and we think that there are people that need it more than we do. And so it's important for me to let people know that it's okay, that these resources are put in place for you to utilize and thrive when you need them. And the hope is that you'll be able to use those things until you get to a point where you won't need them anymore. And then someone else can benefit from them. Thank you to everyone that donated during the Kitsap Great Give. Our first big check that I've ever held, you know. So that was cool. We did a 13-hour marathon broadcast on during the Great Give. Don't know if I'll be repeating that. That was long, man. That was long, but that was cool. And so they came by The Kitsap Community Foundation came by to actually present the check uh, in person. So that was awesome. Appreciate that and that effort. See, what else? There's so many different things. Oh, here we go. This is down at the Marvin Williams Center, and they were having a vaccine event. And as you can see, you've got Diana here in the pink. Ernest is our head of transportation. That's Monkey. Stephanie and Rob's son. That is, I believe, Kelly. Shaylin, shout out to her, one of our board members. Marlon, one of our board members. That's Corbin, one of our volunteers. And me there on the left. So we were there to support that event and provide transportation for anyone who wanted to get vaccinated. Of course, unfortunately, Rob was not here during that time as he was in Texas. Uh, his family. This this is my oldest friend sitting with uh, Rob. We're out here, Rob and Rod. So when I get to talking about the both of them, Rod and Rob, Rob and Rod, you know, Roderick and Robert. So I always get tongue tied when I'm speaking about both of them together. So we're enjoying a nice cigar, and I'm pretty sure there's whiskey involved there. And like I said, Rob is one of our Rod is one of our board members. I have known Rod since I was 9 years old. He is my oldest friend. 9. That is a long time, man. So always good to take some time out and have some self care and just enjoy. So it's always good to catch up. Uh, also good to have meaningful, high quality friendships like I have with those two gentlemen. Got to show this picture here. This is uh, Drayton Jackson's building, uh, which is just on the other side of the Warren Avenue Bridge. You see Raymond to the left of me, myself, Tony, Drayton, uh, Brandon from Tones Fitness, and then Rob. So we're giving, I think we're giving Raymond and Tony and Rob, I think, a tour of the building. And what's interesting about this particular picture in this day was, oh, and it's 10 minutes to New Year's, guys. What's interesting about this was Roosevelt Smith, shout out to him, saw a bunch of black men stand in a parking lot in front of a building and walked up and introduced himself. And we ended up giving him a tour of the building. And next thing you know, I'm at the the museum exhibit, uh, doing a podcast from there, showing the exhibit. And you can find that in the playlist of the Conduit. If you haven't been there, please make some time to go see it in person. It is powerful. It is a powerful exhibit. And what makes it even more powerful is he gives a guided tour. And so he plays music and he knows all the history. And I didn't even know something like this was in Kitsap County. So shout out to Roosevelt Smith, really powerful exhibit. But he walked up and was like, "Ah, see all these black men standing in front of this building. What's going on?" And so this is uh, uh, family. Is it poverty management? I always forget the acronym. That's Drayton Jackson's organization. So they are going to become a huge player in the community. There's a larger picture of it. And this is a huge space. So that should be opening up soon. And here, Layla now loves dad's uh, Korean barbecue salmon. So I'm teaching her how we make the salmon so tasty. So you talking about you teach a person to fish, right? I mean, there you go. And she loves to get in there and cook and try things and pretty fearless. And it came out really good too. She seasoned that fish and everything. So she did it just like I do. Oh, let's see what else we got. Are we still in this year? Wow. Let me get a better picture. Like I said, there's so much stuff that happened this year. There's so much stuff that happened this year. I mean, whew. Here we go. 60th birthday. Shout out. Of course, that was a lot of fun. Uh, Cynthia Brady, huge pillar in the community, does a tremendous amount of work, has a huge heart, and gives a lot to the community. It was good to be able to celebrate that with her. You see, I got my G2 mask on, and of course, I got my purple sweater on. Because hey, I'm gonna have my purple. Okay, just understand it. Just understand it. You know. Yeah. So that was fun being at her birthday, and let's see. This is me and Shaylin. So a lot of you know Shaylin, another huge pillar in the community. But a lot of people don't know is we also grew up together. Went to most of the same schools growing up, junior high, and well, I didn't really go to high school, but high school. So we know a tremendous amount of the same people. So it's interesting to grow up in Seattle and then reconnect over here in Bremerton. Like, the hell are you doing in Bremerton? The hell you doing in Bremerton? I don't know. I don't know. What you talking about, Willis? But we're both here, you know. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Oh, this is a good one here. This is a, this is a good picture. Uh, Up from slavery. Invited myself and Layla out to Maynard's to a meeting, and I had just met the team there. So you see Brother Daryl Riley and Tasia, and I cannot recall the woman's name in the white, and Cynthia, of course, there. And so I appreciated meeting with them and having conversations. And as we were, this is still closer to the beginning of the year, so we were still in the middle of our hashtag G2 stimulus. And so we donated 2 laptops to the Up From Slavery initiative. And so, uh, like I said, we were so blessed to not only make it through 2019. I mean, we're making masks, you know, we're selling hand sanitizer in the very beginning to being able to, give other organizations computers and, uh, you know, help entrepreneurs and buy beds and other things that we did in 2021. So just really powerful and blessed. And we were just so thankful to be able to give back in that way. So I just love that. There is my other podcasting buddy with the Layla and Daddy podcast with her unicorn headphones on, you know, being herself as usual, which I love. We there's so many people that we lost this year. And, one of those people uh, was Miss Anita. And for those of you that know Miss Anita was like my Filipino mama. She was my oldest college student at OC. She had so much energy. She had more energy than almost anyone that I know half her age and younger. Tireless, fearless, super caring. She helped G2 the first year we were open to hand roll lumpia. Uh, when we were selling lunches, and she would call and check on me at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You know, Mr. Cameron, what you doing on the? What you doing up? Like, oh, I'm doing work. I'm grading papers. I'm doing this. And I remember, it was like I think the second week she was in my class. She was like, Mr. Cameron, I need to ask you a question. I'm like, yes. She says, I have sons your age. Can I call you Marwan? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. It's like she's 80 years old. What am I gonna say? Like, no. Like, yes, ma'am. You can call me Marwan, you know. But she would constantly check on me. And so if I wasn't feeling good, did you get this tea? Did you get that tea? Did she was on it. And so we lost her this year, but she meant so much to so many people. We definitely love you, Miss Anita, and we miss you. And I miss getting those the messages and having the conversations with her in the middle of the night, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And she's up making baklava or cooking something else, or she is just something else. All right, y'all, we've got a minute left. It is almost midnight here. It is almost 2022. So I hope you are ready. You've got something to toast with. It is time. Happy New Year. Happy New Year's, everyone. We made it into another year. All right. We are here. 2022, 2021 is behind us. It is 12 a.m. January 1, 2022. Now you got to get used to writing a 2 instead of a 1. Happy New Year, everyone. This is just coffee. This is just coffee. Happy New Year's. It is official. It is 12:01 in Kitsap County. It is Saturday, January 1. It is 18 degrees. 18 degrees in Kitsap County. I appreciate you all bringing in the new year with me, sharing memories from 2021. I appreciate all of the support over the last year. This is me and my younger foster sister. Mine is not just coffee. I understand. Yeah. Rob says Happy New Year and good night. And he says, mine is not just coffee. I hear you. Happy New Year's. I was so young. This was I think this was from Kenya. And this is hand woven silk. This was $700 back when I was, dang, I don't even know if I was 20. That was a long time ago. My little sister looked so beautiful in hers. It is 2022, everyone. Can you believe it? We are here in a new year. I hope that you are making some plans. I hope that you have hopefully made some New Year's resolutions. I understand that people are going to make those. I tell people all the time, you do not need to wait for a new year, an arbitrary date to change something in your life, to change direction, to try something new, to try something different, to modify something. If you want to create and cultivate friendships, if you want to work on the relationships that you have, maybe learn conflict resolution skills, seek out mental health counseling, find out what makes you you, find out what your triggers are, how you can get past your roadblocks, your stumbling blocks, so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life, for you to turn possibility into probability. I want all of those things for you. And my hope, my wish, and my prayer, my involvement in that is to continue, as long as the good Lord allows me to, is to provide information to you, to give folks a voice on this platform, to share information and insight and opinions, to give us facts, to impart knowledge onto us, to create a space where we don't feel so alone and isolated, that you do belong. There's a saying, there's a lid for every pot. And at G2, we are a universal pot. We're like a universal donor. We hope that your interactions with us, they say, take the meat, spit out the bones. My dad never said that saying, but what he would say once I reached adulthood, he said, son, I wasn't a perfect father, not by any stretch of the imagination. But what I would ask you is to take the things that you felt that I did well, the things that you can use to your benefit in life, personally, professionally, as a father, and throw out and disregard the things that you felt weren't good. And I appreciated him acknowledging, you know, that he wasn't perfect, that it was hard for me growing up. And now as a parent and a grandparent, uh, I have a I have an even deeper appreciation for that. And I hope to be that same thing for the people that I interact with. We are not going to be perfect as an organization. Marwan himself is not going to be perfect, nowhere near close to it. I ask you to take the meat and spit out the bones. I ask you to take the good that you were able to hopefully receive from either G2, the Conduit podcast, Cameron Management Services, Cameron Management Construction, or from myself, and spit out the bad, to disregard the bad. I use a lot of the bad as a teachable moment, a cautionary tale, a hopefully I've gone through this and I'm sharing this story with you so that you don't have to, or in the hopes that you won't make that same decision, that you're not from Missouri, you're not from the show me state. I would tell my sisters that, like, y'all from Missouri, y'all from the show me state. Y'all just gotta, I gotta find out for myself, you know? I can't, you can't show me. I just got to do it. I got to fall off that cliff for myself. And it's like, you actually don't have to learn that way. That is the hardest way to learn. Like, oh, well, you'll learn. Sometimes you just got to let them touch the stove and get burnt. And that's how they know not to touch that stove again. But those consequences are so dire and such a setback, oftentimes. And, as a quick story, there's two different ways that, you know, people raise their kids. And I'm gonna tell this story. So my Layla's mother, the way that she was raised, uh, there was a lot of support, right, for her and her brother. Helping them to make sure that their paperwork was complete. They were both Running Start students, had their associate degree at the same time as their high school diploma. You know, and they had vehicles. Middle class black family. Drove to college in their own cars, right? And high school. And then on my side, my dad's way of teaching us was, if you want it, you better go out and get it. You know, go down and find out. And for him, you know, that to me was a man's way of teaching lessons, right? There's not always going to be someone that's going to just do it for you or give you the answers. If you want it, you're going to go out and you're going to research it. And then you're going to go and put the time in. And you're going to go and you're going to fail. And you're going to get back up and you're going to do it again until you get what you want. And that's how you know if you want it, if you really want it, because you're going to put the time in. If you really want to change your life, you're going to put the time in. And I'm not going to lie, I hated him for that for a while. Give me the answer. Don't tell me to look it up. He would tell me that all the time and say, hey, Dad, how you spell this word? Look it up. Dad, how you look it up? Damn, just tell me. Look it up. I hated that. No, I hate you. With Layla's mom, everything, it was like step, 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 right? Help you into make sure you get your college paperwork, make sure you're set, got that support that's built in, right? Gonna push you to get your license. You've got your license, you've got a car, right? And they thrived in that environment. They had like I said, their associate and their high school diploma at the same time. Both went to UW, got their bachelor's degree. She went on to get her master's degree, and now is high up at Keyport. For me, well, I had to take the long road. I had to take the real long road, because I was from Missouri. I was from the Show Me State. And while I wanted it, I didn't want it enough. I didn't want to prioritize it enough. I went and I did other things because I looked at it and was like, man, I ain't trying to do all that. I'm not feeling that. And what I was saying was no to myself. And how much could I have avoided the pain, the loss of time. You think about interest and how it compounds, retirement, 401ks, life goals. Where would I be had I followed the path of what I wanted back when I was younger? Now, my who I am today, I wouldn't change just because of who I am, who I ended up turning out to be. But I turned out that way because he did instill enough in me that although I strayed and I came a long way around, those lessons were still at the core of me. And once I was ready to actually do it, I had what I needed to get there. So I could be uh, uh, a kid who just turned 16 and go and take a GED cold. I can step foot into an academic space at 24 without having a 10th, 11th, 12th grade education and start the process of college so far behind and progress to a 4.0 in my master's program. I can reinvent myself after being a brick mason and destroying my back. I could come back from brain tumors and other things that I've dealt with because he instilled that in me. And so it's two different styles of parenting. And the masculine style was if you want it, you're going to put the time in, you're going to put the work in. It's going to be hard, it's going to be thankless. And you've heard the story. Every day after school, I'd walk over to my brother's house and wait for them to wake up from partying the night before. We're drinking, we're playing video games, we're having barbecues, we're hanging out with the girls, we're playing spades, dominoes. All those distractions, all those trappings to keep me from what I wanted, to keep me from self actualization, from keeping me from Maslow's hierarchy, from keeping me to being a better parent, a better provider. And fighting against that while trying to progress to what I wanted to be. And I tell this story often because people need to hear it. It wasn't easy. The person I am is not the person that I was, not even close. There are people like Rod from my childhood, from my young adult days, that are like, I don't, I don't even, I don't recognize you. You're not that dude. I'm not. And it took time. It wasn't instantaneous because I tried to have my cake and eat it too. I tried to have the one foot in the street and one foot in the books, and it didn't work. And until I was ready to turn away from that, and they teased me, right? I mean, it's family, it's friends. You've heard the story. Shout out to Kevin Davidson. He was on the podcast. He tells the story of us in the house playing video games and drinking and having a good time. When I was a student at the college, and my priorities were split. And when I was finally able to say, you know what, this is what I want, and I'm going to cut this out. And I don't care what they say. I don't care what they think. At the end of the day, they're not going to pay my rent. They're not going to raise my daughter, which I didn't have yet. But they're not going to take care of me. And I'm looking at not only my immediate when I'm in, but I began to look up a month, 6 months, a year. Then I began to look up 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. The man playing Soul Calibur, drinking Hennessy and beer at 24, 25, 26 years old. Couldn't see as a multiple business owner. at 40. Well, how old was I? 45, 44, and see it because I'm living life like this. So many of us are living life like this. It's a new year. It's 2022. You don't have to live in the moment. You can stop and smell the roses, but you need perspective. Perspective for 2022. It's what I want for you. Plan, set goals. Don't hope. Don't be prayerful or faithful without action. Move toward probability. Get away from possibility. It's possible I can end up in space. Is that probable? It's possible that I could dunk a basketball. Is that probable? We do this. We trick ourselves into what's possible. Well, they did it. This one did it. I've got all these anecdotal stories. Look it up on people that have done it, that have overcome, that have done the improbable, who have done the impossible or unlikely. And it's not realistic. Now, if it's a hobby and it's something you want to do, okay. But are there a lot of successful 40 or 50-year-old rap artists? What do you fall back on if your goal is the NFL or the NBA and you get injured? The average lifespan of an NFL career, I think, is less than 3 years. What's the backup? And there's so many tales of broke athletes that were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, that have nothing. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all these boxers coming out of retirement because they have no money. You've got to look up people. We don't know what 22 is going to offer us, but understand the safety nets have already been cut. Unemployment, gone. Stimulus, gone. Eviction moratorium, gone. Were you able to get to work in the snowstorm? They can evict you now. We have spent trillions. We're dealing with inflation, gas prices, food prices, everything costs more. Were you able to get a PlayStation 5 this year? Probably not. Used cars, super high. Hard to find rental cars. Supply chain issues. Technology, outsourcing of jobs. Jobs going away. Do more with less, virtual. What are you going to do? Are you going to be dependent on social services? And yes, if you need them, use them and don't be shamed to do it. Do not be shamed. Use it. Use it proudly. But there should be an after. There should be a plan. How do you get to self sufficiency? How do you get to interdependence? What does that look like? And how are you getting there? What's your plan? What's your goal? What did you learn in 2021? When you had the unemployment, when you had the PPP, when you had the stimulus, when they couldn't evict you? What did you learn? What did you teach yourself? We're in the age of information. You really don't even need to go to college. It's all there. And the things that are behind paywalls are pretty cheap. I learned how to do a podcast in 2021. I'm going to learn how to do it better. I became a grant writer in 2021 and won over $100,000 in grants in 2021. What did you learn? What are you going to learn? How are you going to inoculate yourself as much as possible against the next pandemic, against inflation, against the unknown, against the future, against climate change? We've got snowstorms, tornadoes, glaciers melting, fires, all in December. The problem is many of us believe that that safety net is going to be there, and we've been working from this hope strategy. I hope, I pray, I have faith. I can't think about that right now. I got too much going on. I'm not ready to change. I still want to do my dirt. The problem is the resources are drying up. For people that have needed it, the churches haven't had the level of money to pay and give gas cards or pay for hotels and pay for motels and pay for rent because they're stretched thin. So when you don't have that, and the government's like, we ain't got it. We gave out what we can give. With all the civil unrest, and it's projected to get worse. I talk a lot about it in this year. What are you going to do? What is your plan? I have to learn more about my health. What is it? Why is this affecting me? What can I do naturally? What do I need science and medication for? And am I going to prioritize it? So I've shared with you what I'm going to do personally, learn about my health, about the things that ail me, and take control over it. It's not enough to have a membership at Planet Fitness and go. I gotta know what foods trigger blood sugar or potassium, which ones that I can eat for energy or to fight fatigue or sleep. I shouldn't have caffeine at 12:30 in the morning. Granted, I'll probably be up till 5. That's a lifestyle change. That has to happen if I'm gonna continue to serve, which is what I say my purpose is. So if that's my purpose, then I gotta be about my purpose. Now, is it possible that I can continue to do this and not change? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? Nah, because I was in the ER. I was at the doctor's and I felt worse than I have in probably 10, 15 years. So no, it's possible, but it's not probable. So I've got to deal with my own probability and whether or not I'm here or not. I want G2, I want Gather Together, Grow Together to continue to thrive in my absence, whether I'm alive and absent or I'm no longer alive and absent. I want it to continue to grow, thrive, and serve the community and serve the people that are a part of it. Part of that means making sure that my health is good so that I can be the best version of myself so I can give it what it needs. See, when I feel better, ideas just flood in my brain. Hard to shut them off. Someone told me, they're like, are you a robot? I'm like, I'm not a robot. I'm a human. There's plenty of times I don't feel like doing stuff, and there's plenty of times I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not a robot. I had another person that I was a superhero, and I thought they were joking. Like, oh, are you being uh, well, hyperbolic for sure? And I was like, no, I don't think I'm a superhero. And what they were saying was the work um, that you do. You hear me say, doing the right thing or doing what you got to do is boring because you got to do the same thing day in and day out, right? It'd be great. I could turn up, I could pop a bottle, I could smoke a cigar, I could shoot the guns off, I could do all kinds of things right now. But for me, this is me on mission. This is me listening to what I tell other people. If you have a piece of paper at the bottom of your feet and it looks down and it says, is what I'm doing right now serving my mission? That piece of paper right now says yes. At 12:30 in the morning on New Year's Day, I am doing the mission. And believe it or not, for me, this is also some of my self-care. See, the big trick, if you think that you can be selfish in your thought process, if that helps you in this regard, the big trick is if you help other people, you will help yourself. It's like the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. You don't see it oftentimes when you're in it. It takes a level of self awareness, analysis, critical thinking. But what it does is, if you're struggling with something, drugs, alcohol, eating, being motivated, setting goals, keeping goals, getting involved in an organization can help you stay the path. See, one of the things that's valuable about degrees and why organizations and companies value that is that is a testament that you can start something and see it through. I completed a 2-year associate degree. I completed a 4-year bachelor degree. I completed a master's program. I completed a PhD program. I completed a certificate. So they can look and they say, hey, you started something that took time, days, weeks, months, quarters, years, and you've completed it. They can look back and say, did C's get degrees or did you thrive? But you completed something that took time. Are you proficient in an instrument, in a sport? They say it takes 10,000 hours for you to become, I don't know if it's an expert or really proficient at something. 10,000 hours is a long time. But while you are struggling, if you're facing housing insecurity, food insecurity, if you're trying to work on your life, volunteering, being a part of an organization actually ends up helping. And I can say that anecdotally and statistically with data. Now the huge trick is people feel like, all right, I did it. I achieved my goal and I'm out and I'm done. And I submit to you that you're never done. Lifelong learning. You have the tools, but you don't use all the tools in your toolbox all the time. Some you may only use for that special occasion. It only fits that very special scenario. And when you think that you're good, I've arrived, I'm on my own. I don't need the training wheels anymore. I don't need the support system. And you reject it and you push it off and you do your own thing. It's a lot harder to get back up when the bad weather comes. And understand the bad weather is going to come. Excuse me. And those that stay connected through mentorship are still tied into the group in some way. No, maybe you're not going full bore as you were before. But when you stay tied in, it's like having that workout buddy at the gym. Man, I don't feel like going today. Come on, let's go. Man, I don't feel like going. Come on, let's go. And then when you're done, you're like, man, I feel so good. I got it done on a day I didn't want to do it. Those are the days. Not the days when it's easy and it's like, yep, I'm ready. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Got it in. It's the day you don't want to do it. And someone helps to push you, to help you stay accountable when you don't want to be accountable. You don't feel like being accountable. You just ain't got it in you. When you feel alone and isolated, even though you're surrounded by a plethora of people, even your immediate family, you can feel alone. You can feel isolated. You got the weight of the world. You're trying to figure it out. You don't understand how you all going to get through tomorrow. When it's like that, when you are connected to someone, to something that's going to give you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear. I will tell you what you need to hear. Yeah, it's going to be hard to hear it. But those that can take that with an open mind, with a critical ear, are typically thankful. I know that I am for the people that I trust in my life. Hey, Happy New Year there, Miss Kendra. You are an example of just what I'm talking about. Kendra has been with us, well, probably since what? 2019, 2018, 2018. And as she has progressed in her life, she's always stayed connected. So when there's those trials and tribulations, she knows that there's something there. You saw the pictures of her helping us with the food in the summertime, and she's thriving now and doing her thing, right? You never really go away. When you can, you stay tied in because it helps you to do the boring thing. That doesn't mean that you don't have fun, you don't smile. You see the pictures of the movies, And the work can be fun too. You laugh and have good times. Kendra can't even share the conversations that they have when they're making lunches. They can get inappropriate, but it's fun. Gather together, grow together. Well, I got my purple on, right? I had to put my purple on for, to bring the New Year's in. I'm just saying, I gotta do what I gotta do. Now, are you sipping your wine tonight? Or go and get the cane. And I gotta go and get the cane. Yeah, for sure. Show you right. Show you right. Tell the kids Happy New Year's. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm not gonna put that one on there. Oh man. Oh, well, you are at home. Okay, there you go. I will put it up there. You getting your drink on, right? You just a little tipsy. You're grown. You grown. I'm a grown ass woman. I can do what I want. I'm glad you're at home. I'm glad you're safe. Glad you are here bringing in 2022 in a good environment. I appreciate all the work and support of G2, and I thank you for allowing us to be a part of your life and the lives of your family, and helping you along on your path and your journey for sure. Absolutely, we love you too. Love you too. That's just what I'm talking about. You know, that's just what I'm talking about. And I have folks that I lean on in that same way. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my dad anymore. So some people have to fill that void, not take the place of, but fill the void to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. The cool thing is as you mature, as you mature, and as you continue to do the boring thing, and you make the right steps day in and day out, that consistency, those habits, right? Good habits, bad habits. It takes 21 days to have a habit set in. When you do tend to lean on someone when you need them, you'll start to find out, I was thinking that same thing. I just wanted that reinforcement that I knew it was the right thing. And that's a powerful feeling because it's like, I got it. I'm getting it. I'm starting to think in that same way. I'm not off on some kind of, possibility. I'm thinking about probability. I'm setting goals. I'm understanding that, dark times are going to come and I can't prepare for everything. But the things that I can control, I'm going to, that I have a locus of control, that the wind doesn't blow my ship and I'm all over the place, that I can drop anchor, that I can row against the wind, that I can use the current of life and do what I need to do. It's a powerful feeling and it helps you to get through. And the conversations that I have with Pastor Ellington, and I'm always so frustrated as you hear me talk about, because of the whole piece of faith, right? I remember when I said, I showed the picture earlier. They say you don't ever really go away. Kendra's been with us since 2018. This was July 5th, right? No, she's not in there every day at the front desk like when she first started. She's not in there for every concession event, but she's there when she can be there. And it's impactful. And she is able to give back to what gave to her. She knows that she can call on us when she needs us. She knows that she is not alone, that we're a phone call away or a podcast away. And to do 1,000 meals a week, that we needed help. And she had it to give when she had it to give. And that's how we got through. That's facts. I'm just keeping it 100, no cap. No cap, right? That's proof positive. Oh yeah. You know I like taking pictures now. That's why I get mad at everyone when I'm not around because no one takes pictures unless I'm around. Because I'm usually the one taking pictures. I get so frustrated. Like, did you guys get pictures? Oh no, we were too busy. Like, you can't be too busy to take the pictures. Get the pictures. I'm always pushing the pictures, you know, because people will say, well, it didn't happen if we can't see it. Plus, it's good to have that memory, right? That took you back. And if you remember, Kendra, for all the times that you were in the office helping to prepare meals during the summer, I probably came in there maybe twice, 3 times during that whole time. And I just happened to be in there on a day that you were there. You know? Oh yeah, I get the pictures. I get the pictures. Again, it doesn't need to be G2, and it can be more than one. But stay tied in, stay tethered, work on your goals. Understand that the path may not always be easy. They often say that things that are really worth it aren't easy, they're hard. Not always like that. But, you know, and see, this is what I'm talking about right here. That's what I'm talking about right here. For all that Kendra has been through. And you guys know Kendra's story, so it's no secret. Losing a parent, raising kids, homelessness. There's so many things. Health. And why she is resilient is not because she survived, but because she's continuing to make progress. Because she doesn't make excuses. Doesn't mean that you don't complain. We all complain, but she didn't make excuses. She did the boring thing. She did the hard thing. Those nights after concessions, we could barely stand up, feet burning, legs on fire, back hurting, walking back to the van, getting home at 2 in the morning. See, that's the equivalence of completing the degree that employers are looking at. That's the Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. because you're seeing it through. You're doing something that's bigger than you, that isn't for you specifically, but you get fed from it. You learn from it. You become more resilient for it. But you don't see it in the moment. You don't see it when the customers are drunk and trying to get another beer, and you're standing in a foot and a half of empty cans, and the popcorn machine doesn't stop. The hot dogs ain't coming, and the back of the house isn't cooperating. It's 35 degrees outside. It's tired. You're tired as hell. There's a game after Christmas. Day after Christmas. There's a game tomorrow or today. Is it today or tomorrow? That's the resiliency. That's the transferable skills, because by doing that, what that teaches, what that builds your mind, body, and soul, what that builds your physical and your mental to be able to do is to do the hard thing, is to see it through, to continue when you want to quit, to not allow yourself to quit, because right now you'd be quitting on the team. And right now you're using the motivation of not wanting to quit on the team to learn to not quit on yourself. Because ultimately, there are things that you're going to have to do on your own when the team isn't there. We're not going to be able to lift every boulder. But because you showed up every day or whatever that schedule was, and you did it day in and day out, when it was hot, when it was cold, when you were sick, when you were tired, when you were angry, when you were fighting with folks, when you were going through it all at the same time, but you kept showing up. You kept trying to put that smile on your face because you didn't want to let the team down. All of a sudden, it's like, you know what? I can aim that at education. I can aim that at my job. I can aim that at my parenting. I can aim that at wanting to start my own business. I can aim that at self improvement. I can aim that at working out. I can aim that at nutrition. I can aim that at being a better friend. I can aim that at being a better significant other. I can aim that at my religion, my relationship with whatever. Transferable skills. That's the wax on, wax off. That's what you don't see when you come in because you're doing the task. Your head is down. Progress is being made and you don't even know it. There's no shortcut on that. And the reason why there's no shortcut is you have to be, you have to go through the tribulations. You have to go through the fire. That's what they mean by iron sharpens iron. It's not that a smart person's in the room with another smart person and you're bouncing back off of each other. You're learning. You're being held accountable. You're holding up the mirror. They're calling you out. They're telling you what you need to hear. But they're doing it in love, not in spite, not in selfishness. And then you start to do other things in your life and you're able to do it. Oh, it's still hard. But now you have persistence. You persist. And through your persistence, you sustain. And through your sustaining, you become resilient. Now, resilience is growth. When the next hard thing comes, you're able to do it. Like I said, Rob and Shaylin both lost their father this year. They have mortgages, rent, children, duties, and somehow, oh, and Stephanie. Stephanie lost her father too. I mean, so many people. Like I'm still going to leave people out. You see what I'm saying? It's just right. 3 of my board members lost parents this year, all within what 3 month period. We haven't missed a beat, and they have had hard, hard days. I would say the F word, but I don't need to talk like that. It's too early in the year for me to use such language. Ooh, I think I must have the vapors. But it's because they continue to do the boring thing, because they continue to do the hard thing, because they continue to do the right thing, even when people aren't looking, even when people don't know. They thought they were done this evening and got a call from Garrido on New Year's Eve to feed those that are outside. It's 15 degrees. They're not in a shelter. They're in tents. They're outside now, right now, to provide them with the chili dinner tomorrow. So they're back out on the street on New Year's Eve, tired from driving people all day long and running the office, getting our grants turned in before close of business, grant reports, doing the business that has to be done. It's the last day of the year. Oh, and it's Friday. And back out they go. 9:30, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. at night. And they're able to do the hard thing. They're able to transfer those skills. They're able to, although they're tired, they're exhausted, they're hurting, they're sleepy, they like to just relax. They can pull on the years of doing this, of understanding that right now, that fire isn't just for show. There's heat coming from that. That I can walk in the kitchen and make probably 15, 20 different things. I can have breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, coffee, tea, juice. If there's no one in my personal space, not sharing a bathroom, I'm not being told when to get up. I don't have to take a COVID test in the morning and the evening. Thank you. This is my living room. This is not a green screen. And that's my purple tree back there, as you can see. So, this year the Christmas tree went from green to purple. So from here on out, oh yeah, it's a purple tree because that's how we do. And as I say, we talk about on our shows with housing, everyone isn't a drug addict or an alcoholic. Everyone didn't do the wrong thing. And even if they did, how long do they get punished? Do they stay in purgatory forever? The loss of a job, the loss of a breadwinner, depression, mental health can cause you to someone sells their home. You can't get into another place. I was doing fine. I was working and I was able to pay all my bills and everything was good. And the company went out of business because of COVID. And that was it. Oh, and I actually can't really be around people because if I get it, I might actually kill me. I got health issues. My kids might have health issues. In the beginning, we don't even know what this is or how it affects us. Many people haven't recovered from the housing crash of 2008. So everybody didn't just do it to themselves. Life is already hard. Most people aren't living some great life. And there's a lot of folks that self medicate. And we don't pass judgment on the suburban moms that have their glass or bottle of wine every night and self medicating or are stress eaters or whatever it is. But we can only take so much as humans. And when we don't have a support network or we have toxic family members, so we're trying to separate ourselves from that. I hear that a lot. People are like, "Oh, I need to do this or I need to do that." And someone that is trying to provide help will say, "Well, can't you have your mom or your dad do it? Or don't you have a friend or a family member?" And I was like, actually, no. I remember saying that so often as a young adult. I was like, well, actually, I'm adopted. You know, I don't have any family. I don't really have any support. Or, you know, the mother is very toxic in the household or in the person's life, or the father is very toxic in the person's life. And so, no, even if they were in a position to help me, it would be a detriment. Do the boring thing. Probability over possibility. I think it's a good model for you in 2022. Probability over possibility. Plan, create goals, get a spotter, have someone to help you to be accountable for those days where you just don't. A person, an organization, get involved somewhere. See, the one thing about people that are tied to the organization, they hear about eviction assistance. They're in the know as soon as it happens. They know about utility assistance. They know about, oh, hey, there's this opportunity over here. KCR had their navigator positions open up, and the two people that I thought would be a good fit, they're like, yeah, we'll interview them. And one of them actually got the job because you're tied in. And so a lot of times people say, oh, there's a difference between nepotism or a good old boys club. Why would you expect someone to call you out of the blue who they haven't heard from in a year or two that you haven't done anything with when there's these folks here that come by every now and then? Like the picture of Kendra in the summer, right? Who will give us a message. Hey, I'm doing good. Just want to give you an update. We're doing all right. Kids are doing good. So if an opportunity comes up, hey, don't forget about this. This is going on. Oh, thank you for telling me. We've had hundreds of people that have volunteered for G2 now over the years, and thousands that we've served. But if you're not in the radius, if there's something that's happening and you're not tied in, there's no way for you to find out about it. I need a 2-bedroom. I need a 3-bedroom. I need a 4-bedroom. I need help with filling out rental applications. I need to run a credit check. How does this work? How does that work? And those are all tangible things. But again, the intangible is I'm thinking about doing something that's not smart. I'm thinking about doing something that's counter to my own personal mission or the mission that I want for my family. This is the goal. This is what I want. But I need help with this. You'd be surprised how many people uh, I hold money for because otherwise they'll spend it. And they're trying to build that skill, that habit of saving. And how empowering that is, and that feeling. Like, so how much do I have? I got that much? Oh man, that's awesome. I can do it. Yeah. And you use the skills that you use the tools that are available to you until you get to the point where you can do it on your own. If you get there, because you may not. I'm not going to be proficient in everything that I do. I'm going to need help to do certain things all the time. It's that power of discernment, understanding the things that I can do on my own without any assistance, without any help, without any accountability. And then the things that I need someone to be there that will help me when I'm feeling weak. Oh, I don't want to work out. Not today. Uh, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and eat that pie. Did you have one yesterday? Yeah, but it was only one slice. Oh, so you negotiated with yourself, right? I really want to do this, and this, and this. Well, I mean, I'm helping, right? I'm helping people. Yeah, you are. But you could do too much where it could be a detriment to yourself. So there is a point where you could do too much or spread yourself thin. To understand what the underlying support is. Again, it is 15 degrees in Kitsap County. Again, we are offering free rides to the severe weather shelter. 360-373-3000. Kitsap County Fairgrounds is open as a warming center during the day. Whether you need a ride there or not, which we will pick you up and then take you where you need to go after, please give us a call or go to the pavilion during the day so that you can be sheltered from this 15 degrees. It is 2021, everyone. January 1. Ooh, I'm about to have a birthday here in a little bit. Not going to tell people the day that it's on, but there's so many snitches out there. They tell on me anyway. I don't know what your 2021 was for you, but I hope that your 2022 is better than your 2021. Probability versus possibility, folks. I think that is going to be the phrase of the year from me. Probability over possibility. I hope that you will join us, subscribe, like, and share. Please tell your friends and family about us, organizations, co-workers, classmates, fellow parents, whoever, about the Conduit. Tell them to like, tell them to subscribe, like, and share. If they want to get involved in a nonprofit doing the work, tell them to give us a call at 360-373-3000. We have a host of shows. We're going to be busy this year. We have so many shows coming up this year. I will be doing more conversations, reaction videos to current events, talking about issues that impact the community on all levels. So there will be something for everyone. We'll also try to do some fun things. I'm going to do some more cooking also as I'm trying to work on that skill. I'm going to also try to grow fruits, vegetables, herbs, things like that. Stay tuned, y'all. Happy New Year's from Marwan Cameron, the Conduit. Gather together, grow together. We will see you